حي على الفلاح. A voice echoes from the heavens, a call not just to prayer but to purpose. There are men who lived like kings but died forgotten. And there are those who died with nothing but left behind everything. This is not a tale of thrones, jewels, or silk, but of dawah, dignity, and dust. This is the legend of a man who traded every luxury for one cause, Allah and His Messenger. The story of a prince who lived with grace, died with glory, and was buried in simplicity. His name, Mus'ab ibn Umair radiallahu ta'ala anhu, the first ambassador of Islam, the one who carried the flag of truth even to his final breath. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine the streets of Makkah, fragrant with perfume, echoing with nobility. Walking among the crowds is a young man. Clothes of finest Yemeni fabric were draped over his shoulders. Perfume that made the air itself whispered his presence. His sandals were imported from the finest leather, and his hair was perfectly groomed. They said, if Musab passed by, the fragrance lingered long after. He didn't walk, he glided. He didn't speak, he mesmerized. Even the elders of Quraysh let him sit in their council. He was the darling of Makkah, pampered by a mother who gave him everything the world could offer. Born into nobility from the powerful tribe of Banu Abd al-Dar, Mus'ab had everything. He was Makkah's jewel, the flower of Quraysh, a young man whom every heart adored and every gaze followed. But the soul of Mus'ab sought something more, not luxury, not applause, but the truth. Mus'ab, the prince of Makkah, heard whispers about a man preaching something dangerous, something divine. He slipped quietly into the house of Al-Arqam, where a gathering was taking place. And there, sitting with humility and power, was Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, reciting words that weren't poetry, weren't magic, but struck straight through the soul. The Quran, a message so piercing, so pure, it shattered his world of silk and silver. Mus'ab didn't argue, he didn't debate, he listened, and the truth wrapped around his heart like light. With one heartbeat, the prince of Makkah became the slave of Allah. Ashhadu Allah ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah. In that moment, Makkah lost its golden boy, but Islam gained a lion. A prince had just bowed to the Lord of the heavens. But truth has a price. When his mother learned of his conversion, she wept not in grief but in rage. She chained him, she starved him, she begged him, "Come back to your senses." But he said, "I have found a truth that no silk can buy." Then she threatened him, but Mus'ab remained unshaken and said, "You can chain my limbs, mother, but you cannot chain my soul." A champion of luxury turned revolutionary of faith. Eventually he escaped to land across the sea, Abyssinia, alongside all immigrants seeking refuge from Quraysh oppression. Not with his fine robes, but with faith in his heart. He now wore patched clothes, yet walked with the dignity of a king. He had nothing left except Iman. Years later, sensing danger subsiding, Mus'ab returned to Mecca, but soon again he faced threats. Then came the pivotal event, the Pledge of Aqaba. In 621 CE, 12 men from Yathrib pledged allegiance to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Islam had found fertile soil in a new land. But who would prepare the ground? Who would plant the seeds of faith? The Prophet didn't send a warrior, nor a travel chief. He sent a young man, with no wealth, no army, just the Quran in his heart. Mus'ab ibn Umair. In Medina, he preached with wisdom. He won over the hearts of powerful leaders: Sa'd ibn Mu'adh, Usayd ibn Huzayd, Sa'd ibn Ubadah, men who would become the pillars of Islam. In just 1 year, this one man knocked on every door, spoke to every heart, and Islam entered every household in Medina. The number of Muslims in Makkah rose from 12 to over 70. This was Mus'ab's achievement. He earned the title Al-Mukri, the decider, the teacher, a badge of honor he wore humbly. He wasn't just a preacher, he was the architect of a nation. In 624 came Badr, the first major confrontation. Mus'ab carried the banner on the right flank, where he reminded his soldiers, "He is my brother, not you," he thought. Faith is above blood ties. They prevailed, a Muslim victory against odds, a testament to unity and divine assistance. Then came Uhud, a battle that would shake the early Ummah. Swords clashes, chaos erupted. The Prophet's life was in danger. And standing between the enemies and the Prophet was Mus'ab ibn Umair. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ handed the flag of Islam to Mus'ab, a symbol of truth, a symbol of defiance. When the tide of battle turned, when the archers left their posts, chaos consumed the battlefield. And in that storm, Mus'ab stood firm, carrying the banner while calling, "Allahu Akbar!" A sword struck, his right hand fell. He caught the flag with his left, another blew. His left hand fell. Then he clasped it to his chest, whispering verses of Quran. He wouldn't let the banner fall until his chest was pierced and his soul rose to the heavens. He sacrificed honorably to hold it upright, an undying symbol of true commitment. He fell wrapped in dust, blood and glory. This was Mus'ab, the prince who once wore silk, now wrapped in blood and martyrdom. When the Prophet ﷺ saw his beloved Mus'ab lying on the battlefield, he wept, his blessed beard soaked in tears. There wasn't enough clothes to cover him. If they covered his head, his feet were bare. If they covered his feet, his head was exposed. From one of Makkah's most elegant sons to a martyr with not enough clothes to shroud him. The same Mus'ab who once wore trailing robes now lay in a shroud too small to honor his sacrifice. The Prophet decided, among the believers are men who were true to their covenant with Allah, and Mus'ab is one of them. Subhanallah bihamdihi. So I ask you today, my dear brother and sister, what are you chasing? We chase fame. Mus'ab chased truth. We flaunt brands. Mus'ab wore poverty with pride. We seek applause. Mus'ab sought Jannah. Mus'ab had it all, what we chase today for us, and left it all for Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He chose poverty over pride, truth over titles, and Jannah over jewelry. He lost everything the world values and gained what the world cannot offer. He had nothing but gave everything, and now his name echoes in the Jannah. He was a trendsetter for the Akhirah, not a slave of the dunya. Mus'ab didn't just give Islam a soldier, he gave it a moral, an inspiration, a symbol of sincerity. He walked away from palaces and built a palace in Jannah. He let go of luxury and held on to La ilaha illallah until his last breath. So I ask you again, my dear brothers and sisters, don't just admire Mus'ab ibn Umair, be like him. Walk humbly, speak sincerely, raise your flags, hold your ground, not of the clothes or brand, but of eternal truth. Because in the end, silk fades, fame dies, but the banner of Islam still flies. Because one young man with nothing held it up with everything he had. This is the history of Mus'ab ibn Umair radiallahu ta'ala anhu. May Allah illuminate our hearts with his example. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.